Hi, so I usually would send over a PDF for things like this, but I actually think that for this technique it's more suitable for me just to record a video. It's a lot easier for me to explain and help you understand just through a quick video that hopefully you can take something from and maybe start introducing with your child. So as I mentioned on the reel, emotional tolerance is super important for every area of someone's life. It's about us becoming used to the feelings that we get, feeling those feelings rather than distracting ourselves away from them. Because after all emotions, all feelings are completely natural, they're automatic, but we can manage them rather than them managing us. And the way that we do that is first of all, becoming tolerant of them and then understanding what to do next so that we make ourselves feel better. So the emotional tolerance strategy that I like to teach young people is something I just call the 4-step process. I only call it the 4-step process because it's easier for them to understand that there's 4 steps to this process. You can call it what you want, really. The ideas inside of the 4 steps, you might think of a better name, but I just couldn't. So the 4 steps are as follows. So number 1 is feel the feeling. Number 2 is say the feeling. And number 3 is breathe or regulate. And number 4 is refocus. So what can I control? Now I'll explain those all in more detail. So number 1, feel the feeling. This is super important. This is helping them to understand where they're having that feeling. So if it's anxiety, when they're feeling that feeling, it might feel like butterflies in their stomach, clammy hands, racing thoughts, that kind of thing. If it's anger, it might be something different. It might be clenched fist, it might be hot and cold. However they feel the feeling, it's helping them to notice that that is the feeling they get when they have that emotion, so that they can recognize that that's the emotion they're feeling. There might be more than one feeling that they're getting at the same time, or there might be some sort of crossover, but it's great for children just to understand that and to explore that. So number 1 is feel the feeling. Number 2 is say the feeling. This could be to themselves or to somebody else. So if that feeling is really strong and intense, then it's always encouraged to share that with somebody else as well if they feel comfortable to. So say the feeling. I like to tell them to say it 3 times. So if it's anxiety, they could say to themselves, I feel anxious. I feel anxious. I feel really anxious. Then instead of it being just inside, they're getting it out. So number 2, say the feeling. Number 3 is breathe or regulate. So some sort of regulation technique that they might have. So I like to teach breath work, for instance. They could breathe in for 5, out for 7, 3 times. That's just one. They could do box breathing. They could do a range of other ones. I've actually got an emotional regulation toolkit. So if you want that, let me know. I'll ping that over too. It just has a range of different techniques they can use. So number 3 is breathe or regulate. And then number 4 is refocus. Now that we've felt the feeling, now we've said the feeling, now that we've regulated that feeling, we then want to refocus so that that emotion doesn't keep popping up and kind of managing us. So I like to get them to refocus on what they can control. So whatever situation it is, what can't they control, first of all, and then focus on what they can control. Once you identify all the things they can't control, they're usually just left with like themselves. So their actions, what they do, what they say, that kind of thing. So for example, if we take it through an example, if it's school anxiety, they're anxious about school. So number 1, they feel the feeling. Where do they feel that anxiety? I feel it in my stomach, I've got butterflies, I feel sick. Number 2, say the feeling. I feel anxious about going to school. I feel anxious about going to school. I feel anxious about going to school. They could be more specific about what it is they're anxious about. That might help. Number 3, breathe. Okay, I'm going to go 5 in, 7 out. Maybe I do it 3 times. Okay, then that emotion has been regulated slightly. And now I can think, what can I control? What can't I control? What I can't control about school is the time that it starts, the people that go, what people say, what lessons I have, how much work I'm giving, how hard the work is, all that kind of thing. What can I control? I can control my effort. I can control what I do in school, what I say in school, that kind of thing. So now we're refocusing on ourselves rather than just focusing on that emotion. And I find that's quite a good way of building emotional tolerance because they're not feeling that anxiety, for example, and then going on a screen to take themselves away from it, or going to do something else, because that doesn't actually help them process the emotion. That emotion just comes out in other ways, or it comes out later on when they haven't got distractions. So I've worked with a lot of children that have this feeling or have those difficult emotions. They distract themselves throughout the day. When it gets to night time, they can't sleep because the emotion comes up, or there might be other specific moments that bring that emotion up. I hope that was useful. Sorry, it ended up being a 5-minute video rather than just a quick one, but I hope it's useful. If you would like any other resources, I've got emotional regulation toolkits. I've got some resources on building self-confidence, building internal motivation and resilience as well. So if you'd like anything else, let me know and I'll ping it over.